Breaking news right now on Pawn Stars Chumlee, whose real name is Austin Lee Russell. We've just learned the terms of a plea deal that will keep him from serving prison time. Rick Harrison's world is crumbling before our eyes, his son sentenced to life, Chumlee tangled in a prison nightmare in a bitter family war threatening to destroy everything he built. The Pawn Stars empire, once unstoppable, now teeters on the edge of ruin. Tune in as the truth behind Rick's downfall is revealed, and what comes next will shock everyone. The fall of a Vegas dynasty, Rick Harrison, now 59 years old, is drowning in a relentless storm of family disasters and legal fights. What started as whispers about his son receiving a life sentence turned into a grim reality. The Pawn Stars empire, once a money-printing machine, is looking shakier by the day, just when it seems like things cannot possibly get worse. And in the shadows of a collapsing dynasty, a betrayal emerges that will change everything forever. Pawn Stars was not some lucky break. It was built from scratch by Rick and his father Richard, who was as tough as they came. He understood money, business, and did not tolerate nonsense. Fans respected his straightforward, no-filter approach. When Richard passed away in the year 2018, the shop lost more than just its founder. It lost its backbone. A lot of people liked the history lessons. There's a lot of different aspects to it. A lot of people liked the family interaction. Kids loved Chumlee. Rick did everything he could to keep things rolling. But trouble was already waiting in the wings, poised to strike. Running a pawn shop in Las Vegas was never glamorous. Late payments, slim margins, and customers bringing in more headaches than valuable goods made for a daily grind. But Rick had a winning formula: storytelling. He knew that people were not just buying objects, they were buying history, a connection to something bigger. That is what made Pawn Stars a success. The rare, weird items and the even wilder backstories attached to them. Then came the television show in the year 2009. No one saw it coming, but overnight Rick, his son Corey, and their longtime friend Chumlee became household names. From pirate swords to ancient coins, people loved watching them strike deals. Corey's sharp tongue, Chumlee's goofy antics, and Rick's ability to haggle made the show an instant hit. But fame has a way of twisting things up. Lawsuits stacked up, family feuds exploded, and the behind-the-scenes chaos became impossible to ignore. By the year 2022, the problems could not be hidden anymore. Rick's own mother, Joanne, dragged him to court over ownership of the shop. She claimed he had tricked her into signing over her share while she was recovering from a coma. He insisted she knew exactly what she was doing. The lawsuit demanded a full accounting of more than $500,000 and even requested a restraining order to keep him from selling off shop assets. Toy Expo, exciting event. It's been jam-packed from day one. So we're day two in this. I picked up half a truckload of toys yesterday, as if that was not bad enough. The pandemic hit their business like a freight train. Once raking in millions, the shop barely made $37,000 in an entire year. And then there was Chumlee. On screen, he was the lovable clown. Off screen, he was a magnet for trouble. In the year 2016, his house was raided during a criminal investigation. The sexual assault charges against him did not stick, but the police found enough drugs and unregistered firearms to charge him with multiple felonies. He managed to dodge prison with a plea deal, but his reputation was permanently wrecked. Fans were stunned and the show took a heavy hit. Corey was not staying out of trouble either. Known for his reckless streak, he got into bar fights and messy legal situations. In the year 2020, he rented a recreational vehicle for a desert trip, wrecked it, and allegedly refused to pay for damages. The owner claimed he left the vehicle trashed, littered with empty bottles and garbage. It was yet another public embarrassment for the Harrison family. Even the so-called experts featured on the show were not immune to scandal. Johnny Jimenez Jr., a frequent toy expert, was charged in a domestic violence case. Then there was Drew Max, the sports memorabilia guru who got caught up in a fraud scandal. He allegedly authenticated fake collectibles, leading to lawsuits and a serious credibility crisis for the show. As the years passed, fans began noticing something was off. Pawn Stars had lost its magic. The once spontaneous moments felt staged. The negotiations seemed rehearsed, and personal drama overshadowed the history and the deals. What was once an entertaining dive into historical artifacts had turned into a slow-motion car wreck of family betrayals and scandals. Rick tried to expand his empire with Pawn Plaza, a retail complex near the shop, but that venture tanked. The businesses inside blamed him for failing to promote the area properly. Lawsuits followed, and yet another ambitious plan went up in smoke. Meanwhile, the show limped along, but even the most die-hard fans admitted it was not what it used to be. The once thriving empire was fading, slipping through Rick's fingers one misstep at a time. Despite everything, Rick knew one thing for certain: the show would not last forever. He scrambled to secure other investments, real estate, different business ventures, anything to keep his fortune intact. The shop had seen it all: big dreams, tough losses, and surprising wins. But the next sellers brought a whole new game: cash collectibles and cold-blooded deals. A guy struts in, all confident, holding what looks like a £10 British note. But oh no, it's not just any bill. It's been defaced by the infamous street artist Banksy. The seller thinks he's got himself a jackpot. Old man takes one look at it, unimpressed. Counterfeit money is what he sees, and he isn't wrong, but the guy insists Banksy's work sells for thousands. The old man isn't having it. To him, it's just vandalized cash. They bring in an expert. Turns out it is real Banksy art, but not exactly a rare find. Value? Maybe a few $100. The seller, once dreaming of a grand payday, tries to salvage what he can. He aims for 500. The old man? Not a chance. A brutal negotiation later, and the guy walks away with 400. He might have expected more, but old man knew exactly what he was doing. Now, here's a piece of history. A Navy veteran walks in and carrying an old sextant once used on the United States ship Hector, a World War II-era repair ship. The guy's got stories, and the old man loves military history. So there's some common ground, but let's get real. This isn't the 1800S, and nobody is navigating by sextant anymore. The seller wants nearly $400. The old man, wise as ever, knows collectors exist, but they're a rare breed. He lowballs at 200. The seller tries to fight back, but negotiations are tough when you're facing a seasoned pawn expert. At 390, I'm not comfortable. I would be comfortable at 200 for this. That way I can ask 3, take the first 275, walk through the door. They settle at 265, not bad, but definitely not the big payday the seller was dreaming of. An old black and white panoramic photo of a World War II airfield in Las Vegas? Sounds cool. Seller waltzes in. Sure, he's got a relic worth at least $500. The old man barely flinches. It's an interesting piece, sure, but there's a harsh truth. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's valuable. He points out that history lovers might like it, but it's not exactly flying off the shelves. Seller clings to hope and tries to counter with 400. The old man stays cold. He offers a measly $100. The seller, shocked, tries to bargain up. No dice. He walks out, photo still in hand. Lesson learned. Sentimental value doesn't translate to dollar bills in the pawn world. Nothing gets the old man's attention like a Civil War-era gun. Enter the Savage Navy revolver. It's a funky-looking firearm, and the seller knows it's rare. He starts high, $1,800. Old man isn't biting. He calls in a gun expert who confirms it's legit, but explains why it wasn't exactly a hot seller back in the day. The gun was heavy, awkward, not the most practical, but collectors love weird history. Value? Maybe 2,000 tops. The seller still dreams of a big payday, but the old man isn't here to overpay. He throws out an offer, $800. The seller practically chokes. $800, Rick. No, that's not going to happen. No, I'm thinking more like $1,250 though, I really am. What? I was hoping to get about $1,800 for the gun. They go back and forth, dancing around numbers. But in the end, the old man sticks to his guns. The deal closes at $1,400. Not a bad take for the seller, but the old man still walked away winning. A signed baseball from the 1951 Yankees team? Sounds like a dream for sports collectors. The seller's got a bull signed by legends like Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio. Sounds great. Until you look at it, it's worn out. Signatures fading. No authentication paperwork. The old man knows better than to take risks on sports memorabilia. He brings in an expert who confirms it's legit, but in rough shape. High value? Nope. The seller, hoping for 3,000, gets hit with reality. The old man offers $800. Explaining that condition is everything, the seller, crushed, walks out still holding the bull. No deal here. Cue the nostalgia. A superfan enters the shop with a homemade Ghostbusters proton pack. It's got lights, buttons, sound effects, the whole deal. The old man not impressed. He knows nerd collectibles have a market, but only for the right buyer. The seller confident. He's built something special, asks for 2,000. The old man scoffs. Replica or not, it's not a screen use prop, and nerds tend to build their own instead of buying. He offers $1,000, firm. The seller hesitates, but eventually takes it. He might have spent more than that building it, but now he's got cash for his next project. Do you want to go watch Ghostbusters? Hell no. You get your ass back to work. I wish I could have got a little bit more money than 1,050. I had probably that much in it, but now I've got some money, and I mean,